Schoenberg, Pierrot, Lunaire. Schoenberg's Pierrot, Lunaire, 1912, provides an excellent example of what happens when familiar rules of musical organization are either abandoned or at least stretched beyond normal recognition. An exhaustive treatment of the ways Schoenberg deviates from normal musical organization is beyond the scope of this program. Several examples, however, will serve to illustrate how listening to this music, with the same expectations one might have for Mozart or Beethoven, is likely to lead to confusion and frustration. Pierrot Lunaire is a cycle of 21 movements for reciter and 5 instrumentalists, playing on 8 different instruments. The female vocalist performs in Sprechstimme, speech voice, a type of recitation between speaking and singing. In the score, Schoenberg indicates that the reciter should give the pitch exactly, but then immediately leave it in a fall or rise. The performer should ensure that Sprechgesang, speech song, resembles neither natural speech nor true singing. Sprechstimme notes are indicated with an X on the stem. This excerpt provides an example. Closure is a basic tenet of musical organization. See the Gestalt Principles of Musical Organization movie. Listen to the difference between closure as heard in Mozart and in Schoenberg. Closure, of course, is directly related to harmony. Pierrot Lunaire is atonal, without tonality, or as Schoenberg preferred, pantonal, all tonal. Regardless of the label, the effect is to remove familiar grounding in an established key. Timbre is another area where Schoenberg challenges the listener's expectations. In this passage, we have the unusual tonal combination of flute, bass clarinet, violin, piano, and reciter. Furthermore, the use of Sprechstimme, glissando in the cello, and tone clusters in the piano give an unexpected timbral quality. Form is an attribute of musical organization that provides a framework for understanding. See the movie on musical memory for information on musical form. This excerpt presents movement 12 in its entirety. It's only 14 seconds long. Listen to it to see whether you can determine a logical structure. Inability to perceive a structure doesn't mean it's not there. It simply makes it more difficult for the listener to comprehend. For example, number 17 is in the form of an intricate canon, music in which different voices imitate each other according to strict rules. In this excerpt, the viola, with piano accompaniment, begins. Almost immediately, the clarinet responds with an inversion. The intervals are inverted. Soon after that, the reciter imitates the viola. Can you hear this? Rhythm, particularly in terms of beat and meter, is an important organizing factor in music. Listen to this example and try to determine the meter. Can you tap your fingers to the beat? The implication-realization model, see the movie entitled Cognitive and Emotional Responses to Music, is illustrated in the Verdi movie by a number of passages in which the composer inserts a sudden pause. Listen to the first example to see how Verdi realizes that which is implied in the opening phrase. While you may or may not have expected the answering phrase, it seems to fit. Can you say the same thing about how Schoenberg continues after his pause? Dynamics and phrasing are other important attributes in our musical perceptions. Is the phrasing in this excerpt what you would expect to hear? What is the relationship between your cognitive understanding of a piece of music and your emotional response to it? Try a little experiment to confirm what happens when your expectations are or aren't met. For each of the examples below, load the excerpt, then randomly click on its pause button. Imagine what might come next, then unpause the music. Do this several times. Are the implications realized in the manner you expected? How do these implication-realization relationships relate to your feelingful responses? Recall the discussion of the inverted U curve as presented in the movie Cognitive and Emotional Responses to Music. A piece of music that follows common rules of musical organization so closely that no deviations or surprises are to be heard is unlikely to elicit much pleasure. Equally unlikely is music that avoids these common organizational principles unless extended study reveals the patterns and makes them more recognizable. Where does Pierrot Lunaire fall on the U curve for you?